Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 high fantasy series in anime. Just to be clear, we're only including anime with a traditional Western fantasy setting. You know, swords and sorcery.
Boss様、あなたはボッジ様に王位を譲ったはず。我ら四天王は王に仕えます。
Number 10, Record of Lotos War. When it comes to old school fantasies, they don't get much more traditional than Record of Lotos War.
いや、ただなんとなく。
人間ってわからないわ。で、そこんところが面白いんだけどね。
The first of several adaptations of a series of light novels based on a number of Dungeons & Dragons play sessions, Record of Lotos War is a series of both OVAs and television episodes. It follows Pan, the son of a knight, who searches for the fate of his father while gathering a party of adventurers on his quest.
剣はおもちゃではない。だと。を使うのだ。
While its plot is fairly cliched by today's standards, the beautiful animation and well-crafted characters have made it a beloved classic for good reason. Number 9, The 7 Deadly Sins. Some inconsistent animation aside, The 7 Deadly Sins is still well worth your time.
誰が決めた? 我の太陽を飲み込んだ。誰が決めた?
The anime follows the eponymous group of disgraced knights. To save the kingdom of Britannia from those who framed them, and worse, they have to get the band back together, as it were.
Heavy metal!
The 7 Deadly Sins has a great cast, all of whom bounce off each other in natural ways, as well as extensive lore that draws on British history and mythology. The fight scenes are great, with a ton of flashy powers and a few more grounded clashes, although shonen power creep definitely crops up as the series goes on. Regardless, you'll have a sinfully good time.
その名は The One.
Number 8, Goblin Slayer.
あなたは
ゴブリンスレイヤー。
The series depicts the exploits of the titular adventurer and mostly nameless man who specializes in hunting the little green menaces with extreme prejudice. Goblin Slayer delves into some grim subject matter, yet it's balanced by some characters with surprising depth, despite most of them lacking proper names. There's also exciting action and some surprisingly effective comedy. If you like your fantasy dark, Goblin Slayer offers a great taste of something bloody while also featuring some lighter moments. It's a show with as much charisma as Goblin Slayer himself. Number 7, Delicious in Dungeon. This anime already has fans raving and ravenous.
これを今日の昼飯にしてみよう。
While a party of adventurers exploring a magical dungeon isn't the most original setup, Dungeon Meshi has a delicious twist on an old classic. When this group's healer is eaten by a dragon, they set out to save her and overcome their lack of supplies by eating the various monsters they encounter along the way.
迷宮を探索する体力づくりのため、肉の油は大事だが、それだけではいかん。栄養不足は魔物より恐ろしい。
The mixture of genres, including fantasy adventure, cooking, and comedy, may seem as strange as the creatures the heroes prepare along their journey, but the results of this melting pot are positively scrumptious.
まあ、マルシル、どんな食べ物も最初の一口はわけのわからないものだ。
Number 6. Black Clover. As far as high fantasy shonen shows go, Black Clover is far from being a black sheep. Asta is a young man born without magic in a world where everyone can use it. However, thanks to an anti-magic grimoire that he acquires, his dreams of becoming the Wizard King may just come true. After joining the Black Bulls, a guild full of other misfits, Asta's adventures see he and his fellow mages combat villainous forces that threaten their kingdom and the world. Black Clover has a strong central narrative as well as a sprawling and entertaining supporting cast. The fight scenes are pretty epic too. While its story isn't fully animated, give us a sequel. We're still lucky to have gotten this incredible series. Number 5. That time I got reincarnated as a slime.
なるほどなるほど。なんということでしょう。
It's easy to dismiss this series given its absurd title and premise, but anyone who does is missing out on a surprisingly lovable show. Rimuru Tempest is the eponymous reborn slime, and while he may be the weakest monster, his skills and strength are no joke. Rimuru uses his newfound abilities to create a nation of his fellow monsters, making friends and alliances through a combination of his absurd power and generally happy-go-lucky nature.
そろそろお主の天眼にもわしの動きが追えるじゃろうって何を言っておぼろ流水山
Tensura is just a fun time all around, with the interactions between the charming characters being just as engaging as the fight scenes. A few tragic moments aside, Slime is a wonderful comfort show that will have you wishing you could visit Tempest yourself.
神の怒りに焼き貫かれてメギド
Number 4. Ranking of Kings.
なんだお前、口が聞けないのか。もしかして耳も聞こえないのか。
Another case of don't judge a book by its cover, Ranking of Kings has a delightful storybook animation style, but it'll wring your heart out. The series follows Boji, a young deaf and mute prince who suddenly inherits his father's kingdom. His frail body and difficulty communicating leads to a succession crisis, and Boji must bring peace to a kingdom that has difficulty believing in him.
これからどんなことがあっても、お前の味方になりたいんだ。 俺本気で言ってんだぜ。俺本気だぜ。
Ranking of Kings has an emotional, well-told story with characters whose motivations are all fleshed out in detail. Additionally, the colorful animation is silky smooth and translates to some incredibly rendered fight scenes. If you're not cheering for Boji every step of the way, check your pulse, because you may not have a heart.
これぞまさしく王の剣
Number 3. Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation. Isekai series can often feel formulaic, but Mushoku Tensei is one of the best in the genre right now. Rudius Grey Rat, this series' truck-kun victim, is reborn in a new world with a chance at a fresh start.
これで人に殴られる痛みが分かりました。
Although Rudius's adventures feature plenty of swordplay and magic, the series stands out most for its well-paced story and emphasis on character development. Rudius and the rest of the cast grow and change before our eyes, and many of their interactions feel true to life.
長くて1秒先これがブレない未来の見解だ次は右から剣よし
Drop all that into a well-detailed fantasy world with action, romance, and comedy to spare, and it's no wonder Mushoku Tensei has become a recent favorite. Number 2. Berserk.
I'll let you live so you can take a message to your master for me. Tell him the Black Swordsman has come.
The original grim dark fantasy anime, Berserk follows the story of Guts, a lone swordsman in a world that makes ours look like Candyland. The anime covers his time as part of a mercenary band and their triumphs and many tragedies. The music is fantastic, the action is stellar, and the animation holds up beautifully.
Your goal lies far beyond this, doesn't it? I'm sure you'll overcome this. You'll walk again. Soon.
While it barely scratches the surface of its source material, Berserk still encapsulates the heartbreak and gritty persistence at its heart. Trust us, if there's ever an adaptation of the full manga, living up to this one is going to be a tall order. But if it does, we could easily see it topping our list.
You leaving? Don't get yourself killed.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here's some honorable mentions. Overlord. Can you handle a maxed out Overlord who doesn't know what he's doing? ReZero, starting life in another world. Respawning after death sounds great, in theory.
俺は死んだら時間を遡って世界をやり直してる。死に戻り知ってるんだ。
聞いたよ。
Claymore, vengeance, gore, and sword fights galore.
くれよ。
Slayers, unlikely heroes out to save the world, fantasy's bread and butter. Konosuba, God's blessing on this wonderful world. This dysfunctional party of adventurers are lucky if they make rent.
ゴッドレクイエムとは女神の愛と悲しみの鎮魂か。相手は死ぬ。
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Frieren, Beyond Journey's End.
終わってしまったな。そうだね。僕たちの冒険はこれで終わりだ。
After the heroes defeat the Demon King, then what? Elven mage Frieren outlives her old companions.
人間の寿命は短いって分かっていたのに。なんでもっと知ろうと思わなかったんだろう。
After making new friends and beginning a new journey, Frieren looks back on her fleeting time with her old friends while learning to appreciate the present. A beautiful and unique take on a fantasy adventure, Frieren tackles universal subject matter like regret, life, and death. But it isn't all drama and melancholy, as the series also features plenty of comedy and a surprising amount of action. Much like the titular character, Frieren may have you re-examining your own life and learning to appreciate what you have while it lasts.
アウラ、お前の前にいるのは1000年以上生きた魔法使いだ。
Is there a fantasy anime whose magic you love but that we forgot? Go on a quest down to those comments and please go easy on us. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.